Well, here with me now to talk about Lynda's life and legacy is Christopher Biggins, who is a close friend of hers, and also Diana Moran, who starred alongside Lynda in the stage production of Calendar Girls. Lovely you're here. Shame it's under these circumstances, Chris. But how did you hear the news of Lynda's passing?
Well, I was on a train down to Bristol. I was doing a charity event today, and Michael, her husband, who I have to say has been extraordinary. He has been the husband of all husbands.
Hasn't he just?
He's been there, he's done things, he's made things so special, and she loved him. So that's one plus. But anyway, I was on a train, and Michael rang me about 4:30 and said that the sad news was that she had 48 hours to live. And 3 hours later, he rang me to say that she'd passed away at 10 to 8. And it was just unbelievable, even though we knew that she was going to die, and she did. It was such a shock when it actually happened. And the sadness is that Michael had prepared everything for her to go home, because she was very ill a week ago, went to hospital. And the one thing she didn't want was to die at home. And to die in hospital, rather, sorry. And she wanted to get to home, but she never got there. And I think that was sad. But, you know, she's in a better place because it, towards the end, wasn't very pleasant.
She was loved by so many people, Diana, and you acted alongside her in Calendar Girls and got to know her very well. What was she like?
Oh, she was such a fun person to be with, always upbeat. She was the mum in the OXO ads, but by golly, she was mum to the cast as well, because she was the constant in Calendar Girls for, I don't know, 3 years, I would think it was,
yes,
probably.
she did 3 seasons.
And then oddbods like me came in and out and did a tour here, there and everywhere. And she would always bring us all together and little pep talks. She was just wonderful.
We've had a few messages about her, and people remember her in their own way. Eileen Azzopardi says, I feel like I grew up with this beautiful woman in my life. She was like part of my family. Janet Spencer, I loved her on TV. She was a lovely lady. A lovely lady seems to be what comes through the most, Chris, and I'm sure that was true of people who knew her very well like you.
It was. I mean, she had the most amazing sense of humour. She told jokes. One particular joke she used to tell with a terrible French accent, and about this school teacher with very big breasts, and it went on and on and on. And in the end, I can't tell you the joke on national television, but in the end, it was disgusting and dirty, and we all knew it. And she would repeat it time and time and time again. But she had the best sense of humour. She was, as I said, a good friend, and she was a wonderful actress. You know, people are going to remember her as Mrs. Oxo, which is great. But you know, she did some wonderful stuff. She did a film called Romanoff, in which she played Princess Alexandra, and she was fantastic in that.
Well, she was very excited, wasn't she, about getting a part in this play, A Passionate Woman, just before she was diagnosed with the cancer. It prevented her from doing it, because she did say she didn't like being typecast in that mumsy kind of role, Diana.
Absolutely, and it was the producer of Calendar Girls, the director of Calendar Girls, or the impresario who put it on, who actually was offering her that, and she was so thrilled about having that to do.
What do you think her legacy is now? Because I know you've been through cancer yourself a long time ago. Well, things have changed an awful lot since then, and we've seen Lynda talking openly and honestly about her cancer too. Do you think that will make a difference?
I think it could make a difference. I remember when I had my cancer, which now was 26 years ago, and I'd kept it a secret, and then my diary was published after I'd got better, as a matter of fact, so people hadn't realised. And I remember my surgeon saying to me, because I just hid in a cupboard once the press actually knew what had happened to me, and the surgeon said to me, Diana, you've lifted off the lid of the can of worms, and only good can come out of this. And I was thinking about that today, and that's probably what will now happen, and that'll probably be Lynda's legacy, that people will talk about it.
Chris, a final word to you.
She achieved so much, really so much, in theatre and television and film. And what her big achievement was her 2 children, Michael and Robbie, who she absolutely adored. And I have to say, are great guys. They love their mother, and they're very special. And she will always be thrilled that she brought 2 unbelievable young men into the world, and that's her legacy.
And she found happiness at the end with Mr. Spain.
Mr. Spain.
With Michael. Yes, Michael has
Absolutely.
given her huge happiness, thank God.
Thank you both so much for coming in and sharing your memories of Lynda Bellingham today.
Thank you.
Thank you.